Hi friends, before we begin today's video, leave me a like, comment, or subscribe, and it helps me grow and get the YouTube algorithm to spin the channel more and reach out to even more people. If you feel like doing that, it helps both me grow as a channel and it helps spread the word around if you like my content. Without further ado, let's get into today's video. Hi friends, today we're going to talk about the heresies of Sedevacantism and Sedeprivationism. Now, Sede meaning seat, so that means the seat of Peter in Rome. And vacantis, meaning vacant. So Sedevacantists believe that the papacy has been empty and invalid since Pope Pius XII. So Sedevacantism, Sedevacantists, is a heresy that believes Pope Pius XII was the last valid pope and all popes after him are illegitimate. They hold this in the SSPX, which is not Catholic, not in communion with Rome, and it's its own schismatic group broke off from the Catholic Church. Even though they hold all Catholic teachings up to Pius XII and separated from Rome. The Sedevacantists reject Vatican II, St. John Paul II, Benedict XVI, Pope Francis, and any and all teachings that occurred after Pope Pius XII. And they believe that the seat of Peter is empty, Catholicism came to an end, and they are the remnants, which I've done videos on this before. Matthew 16, verses 13 through 20. The Sedevacantists are heretics because they believe that God is a liar. They believe that Jesus lied about his promise with the Catholic Church, never falling into error or heresy, thus letting the gates of hell prevail against it, when Jesus told Peter in the papacy that hell shall not prevail against his Catholic Church. Furthermore, this is who you see on the news, like Dr. Taylor Marshall, other YouTubers, news articles, etc., really bashing the papacy and the Catholic Church for what Pope Francis is saying right now. Which brings me to the second group, the second category, Sedeprivationism or Sedeprivationists. Sedeprivationists acknowledge the papacy and all the popes, including Pope Francis, and accept all Catholic teachings and all doctrines except Vatican II. Sedeprivationism acknowledges the popes as legitimate, but denies them their authority, the authority of the magisterium and their fallibility, and refuses to submit to Rome, even though they might be considered at best locally in communion with each other, but not Rome. So Sedeprivationism is a heresy that acknowledges the papacy and all the popes and accepts all Catholic teachings except Vatican II. The quotations you will hear them most often say is, the heresy of modernism is Vatican II, thus rejecting papal authority and the authority of the Catholic Church. That's what Sedeprivationists do. They acknowledge the Pope is legitimate, but they refuse to submit to him and his authority that he has by right in nature of his office, as Jesus gave Peter in Matthew 16, verses 13 through 20, and the apostles, Apostle John testifying in John 21 that Jesus reinstated Peter to be his earthly shepherd on earth before he went back to heaven. And I mentioned these heresies, these two heresies, because this is what you're seeing so many articles saying Pope Francis apostasy is what they like to say, these two groups, heretical groups. Pope Francis the heretic, even Archbishop Vigano and Bishop Strickland fall into these two groups. Which two? You have to look up their own words and match it up. But this is exactly why we have problems in the Catholic Church. This is the poison that there's no doctrinal statements out or formal declarations condemning Sedevacantists and Sedeprivationism. Francis is the kind of pope where he won't condemn a group. He wants to try to talk commonalities with them and bring them back together one last time, while Benedict XVI or St. John Paul II would have condemned it in a doctrinal statement, making clear the authority of the papacy or papal primacy, which from the 1800s is already out there, in that for Jesus Christ, from eternity in his preeminence, declared the Catholic Church to be free from error and heresy, as spoken of when he gave Peter the office of Pope. And it's important you become aware of this and keep an eye out for this, because you're going to see this online, YouTube, news articles, TikTok, etc. Because Protestants are going to join up with these groups to attack the papacy and attack the Catholic Church. And as a Catholic myself, I'm doing this so you're not caught unaware, my brethren. To close this discussion out, we're going to talk about pluralism. Now, I have in quotation marks because the summary of pluralism is religious indifference, meaning all religions are equal, that denies the validity of Catholicism and Christianity as one true religion to guide to heaven. Catholicism in quotations if you're Catholic, and Christianity in quotations if you're Protestant. But if Catholicism and Christianity are the only religions that have an understanding of God, as in past, between Catholicism, Protestantism, Eastern Orthodoxy, then what about the Jews? Clearly, you can't discuss religion without talking about Judaism. And the Jews are the chosen people whom God revealed to himself first. The Jews had an understanding of God first before the Catholic Church was founded by Jesus and Christianity began. So to say that Judaism is not a pathway to God and to heaven, you're basically saying that Catholicism and Christianity cannot have anything in common with Judaism because it's not the one true religion to God. So in a sense, therefore, all religions are directed towards the supernatural, which is God, despite the different understandings of God, whether they be incomplete or full. And this is why Pope Francis is correct with his comments, all religions are a pathway to God, but he fails to specify the clarity in the doctrines of the Catholic Church, which creates the confusion and controversy that all the Sedevacantists and Sedeprivationists and pluralists are arguing against him in the Catholic Church. Which brings me to the main point. God created all of humanity to be in relationship with him. God is the supernatural. He's above our existence. He's above time. He's outside of time and space. He's not confined to existence. He is everything that existence is predicated on, hence the supernatural. We are the natural, the ordinary, created by the supernatural. And all religions are directed towards their understanding and trying to make sense of what the supernatural is, which we know is God as Catholics and Christians and even Jews. And that's the central point, is that Catholicism does not teach that all religions are equally valid. Catholicism teaches that all religions of the world directs one towards the supernatural, which is God, but the Catholic faith is still the one true faith that's going to get you to the destination of God. We haven't given that up. And this is why we need to read Nostra Aetate, paragraphs 1 through 4, to better understand the context of these criticisms and the Catholic doctrine that Pope Francis is defending.